Hi, I'm Tom Zimmerman from the EMDR podcast. This is step 6 of the 4 blinks approach. We have arrived at step 6 when this back and forth of step 4 and step 5 has resulted in a SUDS of 0. So once the client says, I kind of peek at that memory and I don't really notice anything distressing at all, there's probably more in that memory. And what step 6 does is lets us look for it. So it's not until the SUDS, the client reports that there's no distress in the memory, that we're actually going to play it and play it in any kind of detailed way. What very often happens is that we'll ask the client, okay, now that your distress is 0, I want you to play that memory from the beginning. And the moment any distress comes, immediately let me know. It's like, let me know with one hand, and with your other hand, put it in the container, whatever it is in that moment that's distressing. Even if it's a tiny bit, even if it's a 0.5. Step 6, the overview of the memory, the distress is a 0. We start playing it, and there's probably going to be some blips. Do not be surprised if some of those blips show up with a SUDS of 5, 6, 7. It's okay, because what we're going to do, whatever it is that's distressing, regardless of its intensity, they're going to immediately let us know. We're going to recontainer it, push the container out of awareness, go right back into the calm scene, and do more blinks in the calm scene. Same way we do in step 4. Okay, so what happens once the client SUDS is a 0? Again, we're just having them play the memory from the beginning. We're looking for blips. And it's not until we're not done with this memory until the client can play the whole memory, and there's no distress, there's no activation, there's no real, body response. There's no response on any channel. The client can play the whole memory and every part of it is okay. That's how we know we're done. There are other things that you can check in step 6. So one thing I might ask is, how old was this memory? Because often I won't even know. The client may say, oh, that was a 27-year-old memory. Okay. Does that memory feel like it's a 27-year-old memory, or does it still feel pretty fresh and vivid? So that's just one way to check. A reprocessed memory will start to feel like it happened when it did. It'll also start to feel like it doesn't dispositionally define you. It doesn't define a whole lot about yourself and the world in general. So it's just something really bad that happened that your nervous system now knows is over. So again, step 6, it's super, super, super simple. In step 5, we were just peeking on the memory until we peak and we're like, oh, I don't think anything's there. Step 6, we're going to check. And whatever it is that comes, immediately container it, right? Because you don't want to try to container 3 or 4 of those things. We want to, as soon as it comes, container it. As soon as you identify it, container it. So also, this is in step 6, just like in step 5. Whatever it is that's distressing, don't encourage the client to tell you. All energy, once it's identified, all energy should be directed on containering it, putting the lid on, pushing it out of awareness. So even in step 6, do not talk about that memory until the client can play all of it and there's no distress on any channel. So step 6 is still reprocessing. It is not time to dawdle. It's not time to slow down and do a whole bunch of talking even here. So that is it. That is all of memory reconsolidation done in a 4 blinks approach. So thanks for joining. Be in touch. Let me know how your experience goes. Thanks a lot. Have fun.